course, the plane flies over as soon as I start recording. What are we doing today, Doc? Today is Friday, and we have 2 days of rain coming in. Starting probably in about 2 hours. It's going to rain for 2 days straight, they say. We'll see what happens. So I sent the guys away, said there's nothing to do here, nothing to see here, people. Move on. I sent them home. And what I had to do this morning is I've been up since 0 dark 30 trying to get everything done and locked down before this rain moves in. So what am I doing today? I'm going to run out here real quick and I'm going to put fertilizer down on the pond frontage. And why am I putting fertilizer down when it's about to rain for 2 days? I'll explain that, why I'm doing that. Throw some green shocker down. What else am I doing? I just completely forgot. Oh, I know. The past couple videos we've been doing stuff up at the garden. We've been doing these dirt booster super compost piles. And I did a little experiment. I had alfalfa pellets and dirt booster and compost, all this stuff left over. So we made a super concentrated pile. And I want to see how hot we can get that. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to go up there. Let's see if we can set a new world record on that pile. Let's do a little experiment and show you. Got some water in a bowl. I'm gonna grab green shocker. I'm gonna put it in it and watch what happens. So the particles are all gone. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, they're pretty much all gone. There's no more particles in here. Well, do I seem like I'm out of breath? Because I am. Because I'm running around like crazy. Not only do I have to go out back in the woods and do my raccoon run, check all my traps for the raccoons, but I have to come out here today and put out some fertilizer. Because I haven't put fertilizer on this for weeks now, and we're going to have rain in a couple hours. And what people are going to say is, Doc, you've got a incline down to your pond and you're about to put fertilizer out. Well, let me explain what you can do here. I'm using green shocker on this. That's all I use here. Green shocker, as soon as water touches it, turns into a liquid form. It's very mild, 712. And it water that in and it goes right into the soil. So once I start watering, this is going to go about 1/8 of an inch into the soil. I have very dry soil. We haven't had rain here in almost a full week. That soil over there is actually starting to crack and dry up. That's how dry it is. So I'm going to put green shocker down and I'm going to run my irrigation system, running my irrigation system right before rain, and just barely push it in. Now what happens when this rain comes? We have 2 days of rain coming. As soon as that rain starts, that green shocker is going to be pushed further down and further down and further down until my soil, which is a heavy clay soil, reaches its saturation point. Once your clay soil reaches a saturation point, the silt and silica sort of bond up like platelets. That's when water starts to run off. That's where you get fertilizer runoff. So if I were to put a slow release fertilizer down and it rained for 2 days, it would consistently melt and melt and melt and run off, versus my green shocker, which goes right in. We like to call it a liquid granular. And it's so much easier than a liquid. That's why I use it. I can come out here and literally in 5-10 minutes, zip open bags, put it out and be done. That's why I like it. One of the problems with green shocker is one of the benefits of green shocker. The particles, it's the finest particle size in the industry. It looks like black salt. You have to set your spreader opening to 1/8 of an inch. You will not be able to see this fertilizer go out. You can hear it, something like on leaves and whatever. So you really have to trust your lines. So I know when I put this down, I'll be throwing about 3 feet on one side, 3 feet on another. So I have to trust my lines because you will not be able to see this go out. So pick your lines and run it. That's the only negative part about green shocker. But I still love this stuff. How many times have I made that mistake? Like I said, I really haven't put fertilizer out here for a month, I don't think. All right, so this is green shocker. Again, I call it black salt. That's about what it looks like. This is a DG particle, dispersible granule. When water touches it, matter of fact, if I put this out when there's dew on the grass, it's really cool. Look at this sometime. Put it out when there's dew, and then go back and look at the dewdrops. You'll see these particles inside the dewdrop turning into liquid. That's how quick it is. That's an ass whipping. That's a big lawn there. You go all the way down here, you go all the way back in here, then you got to go up the hill here. It's kind of like doing the forced marches I used to have to do down in Texas with full backpacks. Whew, all right, pond, quick run. Let's hope all these sprinkler heads are working. Next, well, let's run it for 8 minutes. Run. Let's see what happens. Ah, look at that. We have sprinklers running. I'm not going to put a huge amount of water down here. I'll probably do an 8-minute run. All my heads run at once because I have a shallow well and it's a big pump and it has to run them all at once. So I'm going to do an 8-minute run, let it sit for a minute, and then I'll do one more 8-minute run, and then that's it. I'm done. The first run's going to turn all this into a liquid state. I'll let it sit for about 5 minutes. Run it again for about 8 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, and it'll push it in. I'm all set. Now when it starts to rain here in a few hours, I know that that green shocker, that mild nutrient, is in my soil. It's not sitting on top. It's not going to sit there and melt. It's already in. That's crazy, that dark green lawn line, DGL line. So I'm down here at the pond throwing a fishing lure, and guess what? It kind of looks like Bermuda to me. So underneath all this annual ryegrass is a Bermuda, and I think I'm starting to see my Bermuda come up. So what does that mean? Oh. That means that it's probably time to start. We're taking this down a 1/2 inch at a time, and I just put some green shocker down on here, so I think we need to take it down another 1/2 inch. We need to start taking it down, and let that Bermuda. Probably in another week or so. I'm kind of pushing it, but I probably need to go put some Bermuda seed down on that lawn over there. So I was just over there talking to my neighbors, my cow neighbors. He said he's got a couple bald eagles now over down by his pond, which is pretty interesting. I'll have to keep watching for him. So this is the garden up here. My well pump is now installed over there and working, which is nice. But I want to come over and test this. This is that science experiment that we did a test on. We had a couple bags of alfalfa pellets and a couple bags of dirt booster. There's wood chips and there's charcoal from the fire we made in here, and some composted black cow manure. But I wanted to see what the temperature gets up to here. This is must-see TV here. Oh, just hold on. Oh yeah, she's steaming. She is steaming. All right, the outside temperature shows 63 degrees. $149.6, 149.2. 150, there we go. I hit it. Did you see that? I actually hit 150. Wow. Never done that before. There we go, 152. 152. Look at that. I have never seen that before. 152 degrees. So here's one of the things. That's crazy, man. 153. 153 degrees. 154. I have never seen that before. 154 degrees. This is not a normal pile. This is that experiment that we're doing where we had a whole bunch of alfalfa pellets and dirt booster, composted manure, composted wood chips, black cow compost, and we just said, let's do something crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So one of the problems with these piles, when you get all this heat, and especially those alfalfa pellets, these things will soak up all the moisture. These things are dry as could be. So what I need to do is I need to grab my hose. I'm gonna spread this out a little bit. I'm gonna wet it, close it back up, and even though I got rain coming, the interior of this pile, even though it's scorching hot, is getting dry. And so it needs to be a little bit wet, a little bit of oxygen. Dry all down below, but it's a lot of digging, a lot of moving. But these alfalfa pellets suck up so much moisture when they're breaking down. It's 9:11 and I've already been out here working 2 hours. All right, so the pile is all re-wet, moisture, ready to go. We got 2 days of rain coming in. I'll be really interested to see what this looks like tomorrow and the next day. So this pile is gonna sit here, it's gonna come alive, and it's gonna be full of nutrients, full of microbial, full of mycorrhizal fungi. And what I'll do is, I'll probably take some of this and I'll probably go over and top dress my orchard trees. I've already got plenty of this in the soil and I don't have any actively growing plants in here. I did put down more clover seed, but knock on wood, pending no frost, all my orchard trees are blooming. Every single one of them has at least one leaf, but all the peach trees are really growing well, pears and apples. And I think what I'm going to do is I think I'll have the guys just basically put 2 shovelfuls around the base of each one of these trees in here. And that should be fun. Again, top dressing with this stuff makes so much sense. The one thing you don't, someone asked about planting in it. Personally, I would not plant in it. I think it's too hot, as we'll call it. There's too many microbes, there's too many mycorrhizal, there's just too much going on, there's too many nutrients. What you want to do is mix it in at a ratio. So if you have a natural soil and you're going to plant something, put about 20% of this into that soil, but don't plant directly into this. It's just way too hot. So that was good timing. Starting to rain lightly. We're supposed to have rain, I think, the next 2 days on and off. So man, that worked out perfect. Just a quick note, so the house is here and this is the area that used to be just a junk pile, and of course we've cleaned that up and turned that into a nice lawn. We've got a nice lawn out back. Everywhere around here I'm working on really just making nice green spaces. So I've got the shed over here, and then over here has just been kind of a junky, weedy area. There's a couple small stumps in here, and then I have a gravel spot where like Ryan comes over. Ryan usually parks his truck over in here. So here's my plan. Yesterday my stump grinder came out, real nice guy, and I had a bunch of these small, and there were a couple big ones. I had him touch all these stumps in here. So I'm gonna get a skid steer probably next week or so. And what I'm going to do is the same thing we did out back, actually the same thing we did out front here. And I'm just going to rake this area and rake this area and rake this area. I'm going to turn this into dirt, and then we're going to plant this into grass down over in here. and I'll have another grass area. Just what I need, another lawn, right? So this will be a nice grass area because it's just weeds and I'm having to come out here and spray and kill the weeds all the time. So I need to do something in here, but I think I'm just gonna turn it all into a nice grass area. So I told John, I said, you know, if we can get this, I'll get this shaped out really nice and we can actually cut this with a 0 turn. But the same thing we did over here, this used to be the same thing. This was just a junk pile. So we sort of blocked this off. We put the blocks around this. This is a nice little flower garden we're putting in. And then the front area, which used to be just horrible, is now really nice. That area over there, if you're not familiar with it, you see these trees here? We always leave pockets. Someone asked, why do I leave these trees? Whenever you have a pond area like this, you want some trees and shade because you want the bass and fish will all hide in this area. They like that shade when it gets hot. So we always leave pockets of trees all the way around. But that was my old wood line, and the woods used to come up right up to the road. They used to come right up to the road here, and this was just nasty and thick. And my land clearing guy came. They spent 2 weeks here literally pulling the roots, these huge root stumps out, and then going back, and we had to redo this and redo this and redo this, and now it looks really nice. So we've opened up this area in here. So this area back here, same thing. This was all trees. You couldn't see anything back through here. This was just nasty when we bought it. Same thing, skid steer, rake, rake, rake for days on days. Plant, 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 and now it's all nice and pretty. Anyways, guys, I got a couple more short videos I'm gonna pop out. I figured I'd get this one done before the rain started. It's Friday. We need something to watch, so I'll talk to you later. Dot.